Happy Monday, game day, Miami Dolphins fans. Brian Flores and the 7-7 Miami Dolphins put their 6-game winning streak on the line tonight in New Orleans, battling the 7-7 New Orleans Saints. There's a big football game tonight at the Caesars Superdome. Brandon Liguori, and I'm going to welcome in my buddy Matthew Morin here. Matt, just how big is tonight's game? You know, you got two teams who are 7-7. You got two teams who are literally fighting for their playoff lives. But if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, you literally control your own destiny now. And what that means is that with 3 games remaining, Matt, if the Dolphins just simply win out, starting tonight in New Orleans, followed by January 2nd in Tennessee, and you close it out with a win against the New England Patriots, if you can easily just win your final 3 games, the Dolphins will be in the postseason for the first time since 2016. We got a whole lot to talk about tonight, including 21 New Orleans Saints players and 4 coaches on the COVID-19 reserve list who will not be participating in tonight's contest. So I'm going to welcome in my buddy, Matthew Morin. How's everything going, buddy? You ready for the big game tonight?
I'm ready for the big game tonight. This is a very big game. The last time we had a field like this, I would say, was that home game against Buffalo that just started out horribly, where Tua got hurt and broke his ribs. Hopefully this doesn't, go similar to that. But Miami's got everything in front of them. Really, they can really, take control of the situation and, like you said, control their own destiny. So everyone that needed to lose lost, and everyone that needed to win won. And Miami got all the help that they needed and all the help that they could want. So this is a dream scenario. I don't think I've ever seen this since I've been alive. So it's like all the stars are aligning for a playoff berth, and things are looking up, and hopefully they can actually take care of what they can actually control, which is on the field, and just getting these last 3 wins.
Well, Matt, speaking of the 21 players who are on the COVID-19 list, 2 quarterbacks from the New Orleans Saints, Trevor Siemian and Taysom Hill, both will not be participating in tonight's Monday night contest. So welcome aboard Ian Book, a 4th-round draft pick from Notre Dame. I mean, what are the Miami Dolphins really about to have at their hands tonight, facing a rookie who's never attempted a pass in a regular season football game? And, Tua Tagovailoa, who's been on an absolute roll. It wasn't his most sexy start last week in a 31-24 victory versus the New York Jets. But again, if you take a look at these last 6 starts, which have been 6 consecutive wins, Tua Tagovailoa, in my opinion, has looked very well. So, Matt, when you take a look at this quarterback matchup tonight, what are you hoping to see from Tua? And, speaking of Miami's defensive line, and, we'll get more into it on tonight's show. What do you expect the Dolphins, young defense who is welcoming back safety Javon Holland off the COVID-19 list? What do you expect these young guys to do facing a guy like Ian Book, who really you don't have much film to watch because he just hasn't been out there on the playing surface?
Well, first with Ian Book, he's making his first start in the NFL. I think if you ask any guy that's a backup quarterback in the NFL or waiting to make their first start, the Dolphins defense is probably not going to be higher on their list to start against, because they're very multiple and they're obviously very aggressive. They don't really Brian Flores approaches this kind of thing with reckless abandonment, especially when a guy hasn't played significant downs, important downs in the NFL. He's going to go after him. So this is going to be a test for Ian Book, who I thought was very well tested at Notre Dame. He showed a lot of poise, a lot of moxie. But this is the NFL. This is different. This is Monday Night Football, and this is an NFL defense flying at you, wanting to secure a playoff berth. So as far as Tua, you just want to see him continue those elite traits, which are accuracy and efficiency, and you just want him to continue to be on that trend. We don't need him to do these crazy, 60-yard throws and all this, this kind of stuff, the Josh Allen kind of thing. We don't really need all that at the moment. We just need him to be himself, which is a guy that can get you efficiently through 4 downs and push you down the field and efficiently score as much as he needs to win a football game. So long as he can keep everything in front of him, go through his reads, I think he'll be perfectly fine. This is really about Tua just honing in and realizing, okay, this is a defense that isn't at 100%, and I have most of my guys back. I've got Waddle back. I've got, some of my targets back that I'm more comfortable with. I think he'll settle in. It might be a little murky at first, but I think he'll ultimately settle in and win the game for us.
And Matt, one individual on the Miami Dolphins who knows Ian Book very well is head coach Brian Flores, having coached him this past January at the Senior Bowl. So, even though there's not a lot of film to watch on Ian Book, it'll be definitely very intriguing to see how the Dolphins, especially with defensive coordinator Josh Boyer, how they attack Ian Book on their first defensive series. But, great point that you made. The Dolphins will welcome back both Jalen Waddle and Javon Holland. You got an offensive stud. You got a defensive stud. Matt, with these two guys coming back in Miami's lineup tonight, does this open the playbook, especially for Jalen Waddle's return? Does this now open the playbook for Tua, not knowing that, he's not going to have Albert Wilson out there tonight because of him being on the COVID-19 list? But, he'll have Mike Gesicki. He'll have Devontae Parker, a Matt Collins, and now having your number one dual threat guy in Jalen Waddle. How comfortable does that, make Tua Tagovailoa look?
Well, it's gotta bring him some confidence and some comfort knowing that his busiest pass catcher is coming back. The most productive guy as far as catches and yards for the most part. Waddle's been a huge integral part of what this offense has wanted to do from the beginning and has done these past 6 weeks in particular, right? So it's only a plus. Jalen Waddle, he's going to attract more attention from defenses. How many coordinators have we heard throughout this entire year say, hey, after the game or before the game at their press conferences, respectively, they would say, hey, we got to keep eyes on 17. Got to keep eyes on 17 because he's just that explosive. I've preached it from the beginning. The kid is very sudden and he's just a nightmare to cover. So you combine that with on the defensive side, you get Holland back, you get your safety blanket back. He's a rookie, but man, I feel more comfortable with him being back there. And he's, I don't think he can legally drink a beer yet. He's just that incredible. I love Javon Holland. So I'm very happy to have him back. A guy that can get in the backfield, get you sacks, he can cover, and he's just the quintessential safety. And I think he's a Pro Bowler in the future. So everything looks like a Dolphins win. They just got to go out and do it.
And, Matt, keep in mind, despite 21 Saints players being on the COVID-19 list, and I'm going to welcome in Jason Sarney in about 5 or so minutes. But, speaking of the 21 players on the COVID-19 list, running back Alvin Kamara will play tonight. So, it's going to be interesting to see, again, how Josh Boyer not only attacks and game plans for Ian Book, but how he attacks and game plans for Alvin Kamara, who we've seen he's one of the best pass-catching running backs in the National Football League. He can turn a 5-6-yard run into a 30, 40-yard gain. So I'm actually going to welcome in my buddy now, Jason Sarney from PhinManiacs. Let me see if he's able to hear us. Can you hear us, Jason?
I hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So, Jason.
How you guys doing? Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to both of you guys. I want to ask you, Jason, I asked Matt, how important is this Miami Dolphins game tonight? How excited are you for this Miami Dolphins game tonight, knowing that literally our football team now controls its own playoff destiny? And if you had said that to me after this team had lost on Halloween Day against the Buffalo Bills, I probably would have laughed in your face. But now here we are at 7-7, Jason. I mean, how did this team do it, really? I mean, how did this team make this turnaround? How did this team rack off 6 consecutive wins and now looking to make it 7 tonight?
Well, they got rid of the elephant in the locker room, which was stupid trade rumors, and mixed with when you give Brian Flores back, or if he takes back the reins of play calling or scheme, what have you. Since week 9, Brandon, they're a top 5 defense in the league, arguably top 2. When you look at any category that matters, scoring defense, takeaways, sacks, quarterback hits, they actually lead the league in quarterback hits. They lead the league in pressures. They are up there in passes defended if they don't lead the league in that stat as well, but they're at least top 2 or 3. So when Flores got his hands back into scheming, and of course when you have things like rookies playing above their potential, like Javon Holland and Jalen Phillips, who are playing rookie of the year contention, mixed with, on the other side of the ball, Jalen Waddle. So everything started to come together. And as you guys referenced, all the dominoes are falling with other teams losing and winning remarkably the way that Miami wants that to happen.
Jason, you could tell that quarterback Tua Tagovailoa missed Jalen Waddle last week, especially when the Dolphins found themselves in a 10-0 hole and a 17-7 hole. But getting a guy back like Waddle on your offensive side of the football tonight, how important is that for Tua to, mix his weapons and not really focus on just targeting a Devontae Parker or a Gesicki?
Well, it makes him, of course, multidimensional, and it takes, like as you exactly just said, Gesicki and Parker will be targeted, but Jalen Waddle is his go-to. He's the safety net. He has the most familiarity with him, and he is the best playmaker on the team after he catches the ball. That was something that everybody who watches Dolphin football wanted last year, yards after the catch. And there's no one better on the Dolphins than Jalen Waddle. Mix that with Tua's comfort zone with him. He's a necessity guy every week, and they did win without him, thank God, and now they get him in a must-win game back.
So, Jason, I asked Matt, the New Orleans Saints having 21 players and 4 coaches on the reserve/COVID-19 list, they will not participate in tonight's game. If you're a Dolphins fan, right, do you look at that as sort of okay, we're automatically going to win now because some of their best players are not going to be on the field? Or this could be a potential trap game, even though that the Saints are not going to have many of their star offensive and defensive players, most notably Taysom Hill and Trevor Siemian, their quarterback 1 and quarterback 2.
You know how much I love you, Brandon. But the trap game is, I think, my most hated phrase in football. But it's something that you have to kind of be aware of. But it's a situation where they should win this game. The Dolphins should win this game, and there's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The COVID list decimated Saints plus a rookie quarterback going into a 6-win straight team should be a recipe for absolute disaster for New Orleans. However, any given weekend or any given Monday night, it's the NFL. It is extremely difficult to win an NFL football game. And that's just regardless of anything. So they should not take the Saints lightly. They have very talented players on both sides of the ball still. And when you put in the X factor of the Superdome or the Mercedes-Benz Dome, whatever they call that place these days, it's a tough place to play. And then you have a schemer offensively like Sean Payton, who could pull out all the stops from his bag of tricks. So I'm nervous. I'm massively excited, and I'm trying to contain that because, I don't want to get too up then too down potentially, but I am nervous, Brandon.
So, Matt, I want to welcome you back in. Are you more nervous about tonight's game? Are you more excited about tonight's game? And, when you take a look at this football game, will you be surprised if this is a double-digit victory in favor of Brian Flores' Dolphins?
Well, I would probably say, I'd venture to say it's a healthy combination of both. And I know that's a good old politically correct answer, but the nerves really derive from the offense. And that's probably the case with most Dolphins fans and people that follow this team. How are they going to come out? Are they going to start fast? Do they get the guy involved that we all know they need to get involved early and often, which is Waddle? How are the play callers going to be today? It's things that you wonder as a Dolphins fan, particularly these last 2 years, like, are they going to come out and do what they need to do, or are they just going to kind of be in first gear and then try to go to fourth gear in the third and fourth quarter? I want them to come out and go to Tua's strengths, go to the targets that we have back, go back to their strengths, and really just make this a consistent game offensively. I don't need anything flashy. I just want to win the game. That's where my nerves derive from. Excitement, absolutely. If you told me at 1-7 that I'd be at 7-7 and I'd have control of my own destiny to go to the playoffs, I probably would have called you insane. But here we are, and I'm glad to be here. So this is something that the Dolphins can kind of right a wrong per se. This is the game that they've lost for years consistently, right? This is the trap game. This is the game that they should win, like Jason said. And a lot of times they don't win this game. So I'm cautiously optimistic, even in spite of, all the guys on the COVID list for them. And like Jason said, they still have very talented guys on both sides of the ball that can really make a difference and make this interesting. This is the NFL at the end of the day. Anybody can lose on any given Sunday, Monday, or Thursday. This is the NFL. So I think Flores and company, they get it done, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I would be surprised if it were to come to that, Brandon. To answer your question, yes, absolutely, I would be surprised.
So before, us three gentlemen give our score predictions for tonight's Dolphins and Saints Monday night contest, I want to ask both of you gentlemen, having Duke Johnson, the memorable performance that this guy put on, I know it was against a not so great New York Jets run defense. He's going to have to prove himself again tonight, because if you're head coach Brian Flores and if you're the co-offensive coordinators, the last thing you want to do is make Miami one-dimensional, forcing Tua Tagovailoa to throw the football 40, 45 times. So I'm going to start off with you, Jason. What is Duke Johnson going to have to do? Because it's probably obvious right now that he will get the start, the opening carries tonight. Expect some of Savon Ahmed, expect some of Miles Gaskin as well. But I think based off of Duke Johnson's performance, I think Brian Flores has to hand the running back keys and start off with Duke.
I agree. The thing with Duke was last week he had that Miami momentum, hometown momentum, first game as a Dolphin, as a starter, and he had more carries than he's ever had, more yards, more touchdowns. He had a career day for a guy who isn't traditionally a run up the middle 20 carry game guy. So I expect him to be probably the lead carry or the lead rusher for Miami. But yes, I don't want to see 20 carries from him. I want him to be complementary to the backfield, because that ultimately I think is our consistent success when the offensive line can get their push. When they mix it up, you don't know who might beat you. Will it be Gaskin on the outside? Ahmed runs hard through the middle, so does Duke. So I do want to see a healthy balance of all those runners.
Matt?
Yeah, I would like to see. I would agree with Jason here 100%. I want to see a three-headed attack there. When the games that we've run the ball well, it's absolutely true what Jason said. Whenever we do get our push and we have, let's say over 100 yards in a game, it's always been more than one guy. It's always been a healthy mix. So I feel like if this offensive play calling staff feels like we're getting a good push in the offensive line, I want Duke to get his carries, and I want him to go outside as well, because we could see that he's very, very capable on the outside. He's got some good feet. He's got some good footwork. But throwing, two burners like Gaskin and Ahmed, the defense kind of throws you off, as opposed to Duke, who can go outside, but he's more of a bruiser on the inside also. So I would like to see a balanced attack from a running standpoint for sure.
All right, well, gentlemen, this is my favorite part of the podcast. Predicting tonight's Monday Night Football contest, Week 16, the Miami Dolphins, the New Orleans Saints, both teams at 7-7. And like I had mentioned, both teams' playoff chances right now are literally hanging by a thread. Again, the Dolphins, like I had mentioned, control their own playoff destiny. You win the final 3 games, and you are in for the first time since Adam Gase's final season in 2016. I'm going to start off with Mr. Sarney. How do you think tonight's game is going to go? My friend, the floor is yours.
It's going to be funky. There will be some weird scores. There will be maybe, I don't want to say a safety, but I don't think it's going to be one of those traditional 24-14s. Let's call it 26-19 Dolphins,
okay,
with their defense being on the field to win it after stopping a late comeback push. I don't think we're going to see a victory formation unless it maybe is with 1 second, but I do think the defense will be the dictation. They'll win the game, but I would expect a late push by the Saints in a comeback effort. Fins win by 7.
Matt?
I'm gonna go Dolphins, but I think it's gonna be a little bit in doubt, particularly in the first half. I'm gonna say Dolphins 27, New Orleans 13.
Oh,
and I know that's a little bit lopsided, and it might be a little courageous, but I think I'm gonna put down Holland and Howard for picks. I think they're gonna get to Ian Book early and often, and I think he's gonna try to force some passes, and those two will be there to kind of put him back in his place. So I like Tua for a good game. I don't think it's gonna be something like Burrow did yesterday, although if he wants to do that, I will gladly accept it. But I think Tua will beat Tua, and we're going to go and get this win. That's what I think is going to happen.
So I'm going to be on the agreement side with both of you gentlemen, and I believe that Brian Flores' Miami Dolphins will extend their winning streak to 7 games. And I'll also throw in another bold prediction. You might see Blake Bortles tonight. I don't know if that's, I don't know how many analysts, have said that bold prediction yet. But if Ian Butch struggles early, and we've seen Blake Bortles, he has a lot of experience. Remember, he was in the AFC Championship game back in 2017 with the Jacksonville Jaguars when the Jacksonville Jaguars were a relevant football team. But that's my one bold prediction. My second bold prediction is that the Dolphins do walk into the Caesar Superdome. I'm going to go Dolphins 21, Saints 13. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think maybe the Dolphins at times will maybe be down 6-3, 3-0, 10-3. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, this team is known for making second-half adjustments, second-half corrections. And I think that's really what Brian Flores' team is going to do tonight. But keep an eye out for their first offensive series. I think if Tua Tagovailoa and the offensive unit moves the football down the field with ease and the team jumps off to a quick 7-0 start, I think we're in very good hands. Gentlemen, you guys have any final thoughts before we move on to our special preview show for tonight's podcast on Bill Kietrick?
Go ahead, Matt.
No, I just this is the game that the Dolphins should go get. And I think starting fast is everything. I feel like if they start slow, they could pull it out of the fire because, the Saints are shorthanded. But just go look at the first hit. You'll see if guys are awake or not. And they should all be, chomping at the bit to go and really try to steal this game and end it early. So that's what I want to see from Brian Flores' team.
Jason?
I want to see them play 4 quarters. We have not seen them play 4 quarters of football other than maybe the Texan game but there was still a lot of sloppiness there. I want to see them come out of the gate strong, go into the half strong, start the third quarter strong, and finish the game strong. I mean, it sounds simple, but they seldom do that. So I want to see – it would be great to see complete domination. This is the game to do it and to set that bar for the next 2 weeks.
All right, well, gentlemen, I thank you always for your time. Matthew Morin, Jason Sarney, who will be staying on for a little bit more additional time. Your host, Brandon Liguori. Gentlemen, enjoy the football game tonight. We got a big one, the 7-7 Miami Dolphins, the 7-7 New Orleans Saints. Kickoff 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Gentlemen, as always, thank you. Thank you for your time and enjoy your Monday Night Football.
Thank you, Brandon. You are welcome to stay on. I'm going to bring in, and Matt, of course, thank you. You guys are all welcome to stay on. We're bringing in Big E. There he is. There's Big E. One of our favorite people in Dolphins Twitter, a beacon for all things good in this fan base. So, Big E, how you doing, brother?
What is happening, gentlemen? I am sorry I am late, but I appreciate the time. And as you can see, I'm actually at my place of work today, so I'm trying to show some of my Dolphin stuff in the background here.
There you go.
How's everything going? Big E is burning the midnight oil, getting ready for midnight oil in the sense of game day. I'm proud of you that you're still working, but we're here and gathering, Big E. I know you're terrific at knowing kind of what's going on in the Dolphin world, and unfortunately, there was some bad news, some really horrible news. Bill Hetrick, one of the greatest guys in terms of just support. Big heart, rooting for this team and supporting this team. The greatest memorabilia collection I think any of us have ever seen.
Yep.
We lost him this past week, and it's been a really rough go for a number of years for a lot of different reasons. And this community has been hit hard, and unfortunately, this is kind of another year it's been happening for us. So what we want to do, and we're hopefully going to welcome in a couple of other folks from the Dolphins community, is just do what we can to help out a family in need. This is a terrible time, and throughout a number of, I guess you can call it donations or situations where we're going to set up through GoFundMe's or however we can get life just a little bit back on track or easier for the Hetricks, we're going to do and make good through. So for the rest of this week, and we'll be putting up links. I'll be donating some cards for charity and giveaway. Any folks out there, as long as you just donate in some way, shape, or form to a GoFundMe that we'll be setting up, we will all be running these auctions throughout the next couple of days. So keep, stay tuned with that. Big E, if there's anything that you want to say about Bill, I would love to give you your chance here.
Yeah, and it's very surprising because I know what is it? I want to say about a week ago is when we saw Marilyn. She posted that, he wasn't doing well and that I think he was being placed in hospice. And that by itself kind of came as a big surprise, you know. And then when we saw the message on his account that he had passed, it did make me sad. And you know, thing is, I've only known Bill for probably 2 years, you know, since he joined Twitter, or I think he was on Twitter for a while, but he really wasn't as ingrained in the Miami Dolphins Twitter community. And then about 2 years ago, he jumped in, you know, and then he started sharing his, you know, his love of memorabilia collecting, and specifically the Miami Dolphins. And as you mentioned already, Jason, I don't think there's anyone else that I have met or seen that has the collection that Bill has, right? And I think that just has a lot to do with the passion that he had for the team, and the passion that he had for collecting as much as he possibly could. And I would have direct message conversations with him, just, you know, talking about the different things. And then whenever he had an opportunity to post something that he had, I would share it with, you know, the Dolphins community, and we love seeing it, you know. And I think, you know, when you see somebody like that have so much passion, you just have to have a lot of respect for that person. And so with that, you know, without him being here, I don't know if there's anybody else out there that can, you know, can do what he has done or has what he has. And it's definitely going to be a void within our community.
100%. And, you know, Bill was proud of it. And it's something to be proud of, because we're all so proud of our fandom. And something that I'm almost more proud about football is the community and the family that this fan base has really truly become. And Bill is someone who really kind of was a glue to that. And even if it was something as simple as just a random 3 or 4 strain picture of some of his favorite items. So I feel like the best way to honor him is for a collection of us folks to maybe put up a piece of our memorabilia, let it go, and put it up for the fans out there. So whether that's a hat that I know that the boys from Pat Vibes are going to provide, whether it's a couple of cards. And speaking of a couple of cards, I'm going to bring in the man with the golden voice, Bill Turnbull. From Boynton.
Hey, Bill.
We are about 5 minutes from each other right now, Bill, with me being in Boynton for a rare week. Bill, what can you say about Bill Hetrick and your experiences on Twitter and social media with him?
Well, I'll say I only spoke like in DMs with him once, but I spoke with him several times as far as like replying to his tweets and mine. And I'd say that Bill, I never saw a cross word from Bill. He was always a gentleman, you know, the collector of all collectors. He didn't just collect Dolphin stuff. He collected everything. And he never had a cross word to say about anybody. Just, you know, I wish I knew him because he seems like the kind of guy, you know, that you want to hang around with. I know he was a family man. I know he was a man of faith. And, you know, it's really hard this time of year. It really hurts more at this time of year when you lose a loved one. You know, we lost Brian Burnsley last year, and now we lost Bill Hetrick. And I know we've lost a lot of others that we don't, you know, glamorize, whatever. But Bill was a huge part of Dolphin Twitter in his own way. He might not have been as, you know, public about how he did things, but he was always there. He'd chime in on a thread, and he allowed us to see his museum, which, you know, he was a founder of the Mississippi Museum. He just would give us little tidbits of what he had, and we were all in awe. And I'm just really saddened by it. And anything we can do to help in his name for the Dolphins, which is what brought us all together, I'm willing to do. Anything that we can is worth it.
And you mentioned really the most important thing for me is the human interaction, the no crossing of hairs, nothing bad, no negativity. So in addition to the physical, us maybe making someone happy with a card or a hat or something else, let's all do right by those who aren't here by just being good to each other while we are here. And Brian was someone who I had a relationship with, both friend and business, and it devastated me very much like this is happening now, and it's very hurtful. It's horrible to lose loved ones. So all we here can do is be supportive of each other, and if we could help put a couple of smiles on people's faces, that's all the better. So did you have a piece of an item in particular, Bill? I know me and you, we love our cards. We love kind of kicking around some ideas. I think you have something that you might be putting up if you have.
Yeah. I hope somebody out there will appreciate this. I'm not as attached to it as I think some of the other fans will be, but that's not to say that I don't support our QB. But I think people might like this card. I don't know if you can see that. It's a Tua Tagovailoa.
Raise it a tad up. There it is. That is an autographed Tua in the Bama jersey.
Wow.
That's a gorgeous card, Bill. And I think that is he actually asked me the other day, he's like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, it's a really rather valuable card, especially for the Tua fan. If there's an Alabama/Miami Dolphin fan out there, that kind of spikes. And that's what I've learned this morning.
I think James, smart guy, might be interested in this one.
And what we're asking is basically, when we put up the GoFundMe link, which will be prior to kickoff, we're going to have a randomization of anybody who donates. So anyone who does put anything in for, the hat tricks, we will, I'll set the bar for maybe a week, for maybe next Sunday after our next battle. We'll get the goodwill out with hopefully raising the money through the GoFundMe for anyone that wants to donate. And we will draw those randomized winners for the Tua Tagovailoa autographed Alabama card. As I mentioned, I know we have a Patch Vibes 305 hat, a couple of other cards from yours truly, and it's going to be an open-ended invitation. So if tomorrow, if Wednesday, if somebody says, hey, let's get this up, I'm going to be putting that up there. So 100% of everything.
Hopefully others will add some more stuff to this, because that's what it's all about, is Dolphin Twitter, right? We're all Dolphin Nation. We're all Dolphin fans, and that's what brought us all together. And if we can offer up some things in Bill's name to help our Dolphin charities out, and maybe somebody else wants to give a donation, and maybe their name is pulled out of a raffle and they can have something tied to this. But at the end of the day, it's not about the memorabilia or what we're putting up. It's about doing something that we know that Bill Hedrick would support, something that Bill Hedrick would do himself, and I think something that Miami Dolphins would be proud to be a part of.
Big E, what else can you say about just I know you know everything about the philanthropic and charitable efforts of the organization. So
I think this is a great opportunity to to help the family, and I wish I had something to donate, but my memorabilia collection is so minimal. I spend all my money on Dolphins tickets, so I don't get to spend it as much on the memorabilia. Plus, my wife, not my wife, but our office is not big enough for too much more stuff. I'd have to take the pictures of my kids off the wall, and I'm not ready to do that yet. So not until they get out into college, and we'll figure it out then. But I think this is a great opportunity to help, and obviously my goal is to help spread the word as much as I possibly can, and to to find those individuals that can potentially donate or can potentially get involved with the raffle. So that's going to be how I can help.
That's such a valuable aspect of what you do. Again, is you bring us together. You are a massive beacon of all things good here, and I know
fan of the year.
Was that Bill?
I said fan of the year.
Fan of the year, absolutely. And you represented it. Well, should have won. But we'll take a refund.
A lot of us know each other through Ian and his follow trains and his goodwill, and we kind of all come together through him. It really doesn't matter which side of the fence you're on as far as Dolphin Nation goes. We've got a little bit of a division in our fan base,
sure,
but we're all in it for the same reason. We love our Dolphins. We all want to hold up a Lombardi trophy again, and we're going to get there. And little things like this, and the goodwill that Ian, you do, Josh Houts, Jason, you do, and some of the others, Sorty, some of these other guys that host podcasts and really, really support what we're doing out here. That's what it's all about, is inclusion, everybody together. Let's be positive, and let's remember those that aren't with us anymore. Because the Dolphins were a huge part of Bill's life. He's been a fan since 1970, a year before me. I started when I was 5. I'm as old as the Dolphins. Born the same year.
Wow.
And yeah, I know I don't look it, do I? Pretty good looking.
No,
but
you
anyway.
don't actually. That's
yeah, I'm
interesting.
55. I'll be 56 in June. But so I'm as old as the Dolphins, and I've been a fan since I was 5. I went to my first game when I was 8. I got to see the Baltimore Colts down at the Orange Bowl, and so I'm a longtime fan. And I really have embraced Twitter. Twitter has embraced me as some of the nonsense that I put out there. But at the end of the day, we're all in it together. We're all in it for the same reason. And I'm really, really proud to know you guys and be a part of something. I really appreciate the opportunity.
I appreciate your friendship, guys. I remember, going back a couple of years ago, I ran into Big E. Both of us are hard individuals to miss in a crowd.
Yep.
And
getting ready for the flag ceremony, if I remember
flag ceremony,
correctly.
Cincinnati Bengals 2019. Yeah.
Yep.
Right? Yep. And my son and my dad were at that game. First time for my son. First time
it's his
for my dad.
400-yard game, right?
Yep. And that's basically something that we'll, as a family, always remember Big E. And that's what we are. We're memories. We're relationship building. Right. And I'm quite new into this Twitter world as well. And I'm an out-of-towner. I'm from New York, moved to Jersey, to Pennsylvania. I'm everywhere but Florida in my residences. But when I'm down here, I feel like I'm home. And it's because of people like Bill from Boynton, Big E, Bill Hetrick, of course, who was an out-of-town Dolphin fan. So for me, anytime that I'm going to look on my wall or my dresser, and anytime I put another piece of memorabilia, I'm just going to think of Bill. And it's something that I hope to, in perpetuity, we all can do that. And in times like this, all we could do is just come together, support one another, and just, again, let's be kind to each other, because football is football, but family, faith, and things like this are a whole lot more. So,
no question. But listen, guys, I have to run because I got to drive home before the game starts.
Do your thing. I was just about to say.
We will stay connected, and we'll continue moving this forward.
Thank you, Ian Berger.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Ian.
you, my friend.
Fins up,
Thank
guys.
you.
Good night.
You got it, Bill. So I got to tell you, I'm venturing from Boynton down to watch a game outdoors, I believe, or a little surprise I got cooking up, a little impromptu thing. So stick on the socials because there was a cool opportunity. So more opportunity to hopefully promote what we're doing here. But again, anything that you could say in helping what we're trying to do here for Bill Hetrick before we let everybody get ready to watch some Monday Night Football.
Well, we're all psyched about the game here, but we'll all be on Twitter tomorrow talking about the game. And hopefully, between the 4 or 5, 6 of us that are going to be tweeting the heck out of this out, we'll get some people involved, and it'll be a good thing. Bill's the one that just recently passed. I know there's others out there that we've all lost that are Dolphin fans, and this is for all of those that we've lost. It's in Bill's honor right now because he's the most recent, but Dolphin fans out there can relate to this, lifelong fans. And, I know there's a gentleman that I follow that his dad passed last year right after the Oakland game. That was hard on him. And so this is for those kind of people, the people that have lost somebody that, sports is a funny thing. It really brings families together and brings people together. And I'm just really just hope that everybody understands what we're doing here and gets involved.
I appreciate that, Bill. Hang one second. We're going to bring in a card expert, someone who has helped me in my hobby, and someone who could really kind of appraise your card a little bit better than me. He is a terrific contributor and half owner of the DolphinsTalk.com team. We have Tom Ernisi. How you doing, Tom? How's everything?
Hey, Tom. Oh.
Think you're on. Wait, we got him on mute. Now he's unmuted. Hold on, Tom. I think you're muted on your end.
Nothing?
Not yet. You there, Tom?
I am here.
There we go. Now we're in.
There
Sorry
he
about
is.
that.
How are you guys doing?
We are
Good time.
well. Happy holidays to you. So,
Same.
obviously, with this unfortunate circumstance, you're one of the guys who are gonna, help out in terms of getting what we can do to help, at least the hat tricks out here. So, what are some of the
Yeah.
things that you had cooked up or in mind?
Well, I've got a few cards. I know I got a PSA 9 Tua Fireburst that I'll throw into to have people bid on or have a raffle for it. It's a really cool card. I sent a picture in the group chat on it. It's a solid card, and any person that obviously loves the Dolphins as much as Bill did, and anyone who's an avid collector would love to see it. But again, this is for a bigger cause than just a card collector. This is, Bill was, I didn't know him personally or anything, but seeing his man cave and seeing the collections that he had, we want to do this in Bill's memory and obviously support his family as much as we can during this obviously troubling time during the holidays.
Is there anything that sticks out in your mind? We've all seen him in those Zumbas. Oh, those pants, those unbelievable merino pants. But was there any, memorabilia item or anything that could just stick out in your mind when you remember maybe Bill?
It's, just looking at like just the amount of helmets and the photos and the flags and the pennants and everything. Like, I find myself to be an avid collector, and obviously I personally collect a lot of Dolphin stuff. I've never seen anything like that.
No, we're sands on the beach in comparison to what he did.
Oh my gosh. I've, my old house, I had a lot of Dolphins gear up on the wall. I had all my jerseys in the background of my chairs and, India, one of those dream catcher things that I even had that over where I podcast for good luck for the games. But I've never seen such a collection like that. It's really cool to see that. And outside of the Tua card, I do have some old school Dan Marino plaques that are sitting in a moving box that I have not taken out yet, so I could throw more of those things into the equation and have those available for collectors too. And obviously, the people that contribute to the cause will be put in the raffle and maybe win some of these items. So again, it's for the family. It's for Bill's memory, and I want to do whatever I can to try to help the cause. And Jason and I talk a lot with card collecting and everything else to be able to do this is tremendous. I don't even know where Jason went.
Yeah,
he went out.
Maybe he went to the fridge.
Yeah, he had to get a beverage. I mean, we're all getting close to kickoff too as Dolphins fans, so we got to be prepared for whatever's going to happen tonight.
I think he's got a little bit more time on his podcast, and then it's time to get ready for the game. So you had a chance to look at my card, Tom?
I have not yet.
I posted?
I have not yet.
So I have. Hold on a second.
Oh yeah, I did see that one.
I put it
beautiful.
on that group chat.
It's
signed.
a very nice card.
Yeah, it's not a numbered card that I can tell. It does have some codes on the back. I haven't looked it up yet to find out what it was. I'll be honest with you, this was a gift to me.
Oh,
and because I'm not a collector. I have all kinds of clothing and jerseys and banners and things of that nature, but I'm not a collector. And so, in Bill's honor, that's why I thought that this was something that I could try to, the goodwill towards the Dolphin charities and towards other fans that are out there in Bill's name.
That's awesome.
But I know that it's got some value. but
but
it's more about it's more about getting donations from everybody.
Yeah,
so
anything that can help the family out is tremendous. I did see a note from Jason. He said his battery has died on his computer, and he wants us to close everything out. So,
All righty. All right, Tom.
so
Well, thanks for being here. Thanks for
Of
everything you're
course.
doing. And we'll
Of
talk
course.
again
No,
about
same to
this
you.
coming forward.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Take care, sir.
Take care.